Hey, we welcome back Senator Ted Cruz, great state of Texas. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We know you're busy, but I want to ask you, I mean, I hate to have rejoicing during the Biden era, but as you may know, just about every day on this show for the past 4 or 5 months, I have said, save America, kill the bill. And it looks to me like the bill is certainly dead for this year.
Yep.
And then the longer it pauses, the more likely it'll be dead forever. What are you thinking, Senator Cruz? Am I too optimistic or what?
Well, Larry, at least for right now, that appears to be the case. The Build Back Broke bill is a disaster. We've got inflation raging across the country. As you know, we've got the highest rate of inflation since 1982, 39 years. And it's the direct result of the Biden Democrats spending trillions of dollars we don't have, borrowing trillions of dollars we don't have, printing money like crazy, and costs are going up across the board. And Schumer and Pelosi had said as their #1 priority passing the Build Back Broke bill. Schumer insisted over and over again they were going to do it by Christmas, by Christmas, by Christmas. And just this week, he admitted, OK, they're not doing it by Christmas, that all the Republicans oppose it. And at least right now, both Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema do as well. I think that's a great Christmas present to the American people not to pass this bill. You know, last night I had dinner with the leadership of the Texas Farm Bureau. And they were telling me that they're hearing from farmers and ranchers all across Texas, the #1 concern they're hearing is please, please, please don't let Congress pass the Build Back Broke bill. We can't afford more inflation. We can't afford our inputs going up. We can't afford the debt. We can't afford the taxes. And at least for this Christmas, it ain't going to get done. We'll see next year if they can ram it through. I hope Manchin and Sinema hold the line, but we'll have to find out next year.
Well, you know, it's so interesting to me. So last Friday we had 7% CPI, repricing $5 trillion for the bill, $3 trillion in extra debt. Then we got a PPI of 10% on Monday. And I might add, yesterday we got import price inflation up about 12%. So I thought those are all killers. And I want to ask you, you know, hasn't Joe Manchin in particular really been a terrific leader? I mean, I'm hoping you're going to bring him over to the Republican Party, Ted Cruz. But even now, he has been a terrific leader, has he not?
Well, listen, Joe is a very affable guy. He's a nice guy. It's impossible to dislike him. He was a college football quarterback. He is he's someone, you know, just a couple of weeks ago we were on the Senate floor. Joe was standing with 5 or 6 Republican senators, and one of the senators joked, said, you know, Joe, we should follow Cruz's suggestion and we should make you the chairman of the committee on everything. And if you come over to be a Republican, we'll do that. And I pointed out, I said, Joe, look, at least one of the two parties actually likes you. We like you. Your own party can't stand you. So, you know, come to sanity. I don't know if he will, because culturally he's been a Democrat his whole life. But the nastiness he's getting from the far left, it isn't pretty.
Another key point, though, it's being reported. I've heard this from some sources. Want to get your take on it. The idea that we're going to have a federal national election reform bill by changing filibuster rules. Now, apparently, Kyrsten Sinema has just said, count me out. I know Manchin has said, count me out. Senator Cruz, what can you tell us about this? Is this dead also?
Look, I certainly hope so. It remains the top political priority of Pelosi and Schumer to pass the first bill Schumer introduced. Many of us call it the Corrupt Politicians Act, and that bill would federalize all of election law, would take over elections all over the country. And what it would do is it would strike down virtually every reasonable common sense voter integrity law in the states. So, for example, most of the states have photo ID requirements to vote. The Corrupt Politicians Act would strike every one of those laws down and make it illegal to require an ID to vote. Many of the states have laws prohibiting ballot harvesting, which is the corrupt practice of paid operatives going, say, into nursing homes and collecting ballots from vulnerable voters. The reason that so many states have prohibited it is that it invites fraud, and it has a long history of fraud. The Corrupt Politicians Act would strike every one of those prohibitions down and would mandate that ballot harvesting be legal in all 50 states. This is a bill designed to register millions of illegal aliens to vote and to vote illegally. It's a bill designed to force states to let felons vote, and it would expand voter fraud in this country massively. And I got to say, Larry, it's a strange thing. You know, for most of our nation's history, both parties agreed that protecting election integrity mattered. Today's Democrats have decided politically that voter fraud is good for them politically, that Democrats win when millions of illegal aliens vote. Democrats win when there's voter fraud, no voter ID, and corrupt ballot harvesting. That's really unfortunate.
You know, I do remember, by the way, when you got up in the early hours of the morning. Here in New York, we've got this crazy bill, about 600,000 plus. Yep. They may have a work card of some kind, but they are not citizens. Nothing, which this is pure insanity. Even our far left mayor thought it was too much. But you know what interests me? Some of this stuff could backfire. You've probably seen the polls, Senator. The Republican Party is now getting as much of the Hispanic Latino vote as the Democratic Party. Now, this is something I know you've worked on, and Trump worked on this. We have attracted tremendous gains among the Hispanics, who tend to be church-going, law and order, small business folks. I mean, I just find that interesting, somewhat ironic.
Well, you look at the Hispanic community, the values that resonate in our community, their faith, family, patriotism, hard work. And I got to say, particularly in South Texas, you know, South Texas has historically been a Democrat region of the state. But South Texas is bearing the brunt of the chaos at our southern border. 2 million people have crossed illegally into this country since Joe Biden became president. It's the highest rate of illegal immigration in 61 years. And in South Texas, so I've done roundtables down there in the past months where I've sat down with farmers and ranchers and sheriffs and law enforcement and local elected officials. And they're so angry. And the elected officials, many of them are Democrats. And they've said to me over and over again, listen, if the Democratic Party is the party of open borders, I can't be for that. 2 million people flooding into your country, flooding into your state, flooding into your schools and your hospitals. The cities are going broke. It's overwhelming the systems. And I think we're going to see big pickups. Actually, a former staffer of mine, a woman named Cassie Garcia, is fantastic, is running for Congress in South Texas. I've endorsed her. I think she is a great opportunity for a Republican pickup in South Texas. And the city of McAllen, historically a very Democratic city, just a few months ago elected a Republican mayor. And that's because the voters there said, this is madness. The lawless of Biden, Harris, and open borders, it doesn't make sense. And I think they're ushering in a whole generation of Hispanics who are voting Republican.
I'm going to get my producers to book her. I want to interview her.
Good.
Excellent. Let me switch gears slightly to more law and order. So now we have a situation, as you are well aware, all these big box retailers and so forth are moaning and groaning about the so-called smash and grab looting that's going on. And they're getting killed. But also, Senator, and I went through some research, Target, Levi Strauss, Nordstrom's, Home Depot, and others. A year and a half ago, in the summer of 2020, they all came out for woke, for Black Lives Matter, for defunding the cops. Now they're coming to you, begging the Congress, please help us, please help us. Nancy Pelosi is saying she knows there's a crime problem, but she doesn't understand where it's coming from. I thought you might have a thought on this.
Well, you know, there is rich irony and hypocrisy. You're right that these big companies, woke corporations, last summer they came out all for Black Lives Matter. They embraced abolishing the police. And I think they cynically viewed it as feeding the alligator, hoping that he eats them last. Well, he's now coming home for supper. What we're seeing in California with these looters just running through stores, stealing anything they want, there's a reason for that, because you've got left-wing politicians who are trying, number one, to abolish the police, but you've got, number two, these left-wing district attorneys. You know, George Soros has spent millions of dollars to elect radical district attorneys who refuse to prosecute crime. And it's real simple. If you live in San Francisco and you know that if you go into a Target and you grab a TV and run out the front door, nothing will happen to you. Well, surprise, surprise, incentives work. I'll tell you this, if you go into a Target in the state of Texas and you grab a TV and you run out the front door, you're going to get tackled, you're going to get thrown to the ground, you're going to get put in handcuffs, and you're going to get prosecuted. And this is not rocket science. I mean, anyone understands these principles, but the Democrats are so radical. Joe Biden has appointed 2 senior officials in the country. Just last week, the Senate confirmed Biden nominated as U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts a woman named Rachel Rollins.
Right.
One of these Soros prosecutors who put out a list of 15 crimes that her prosecutors were forbidden from prosecuting. Those included shoplifting, larceny, drug possession, not just marijuana, hard drugs, heroin. Republican voted no, and Kamala Harris came down and broke the tie, and now the chief federal law enforcement officer in the state of Massachusetts is a radical who refuses to prosecute crime. You shouldn't be surprised when we have more crime as a result.
Man, it's an unbelievable story. I want to keep you for the whole hour, but my producers won't let me. So let me hit on foreign policy.
Sure.
So we've got this Putin-Russian thread. 100,000 troops going to 200,000 troops next to Ukraine. Maybe there's a coup d'etat, some takeover of sovereignty, and so forth. Senator Cruz, is there a way to get moving on putting sanctions in?
Yes.
Before he takes an action? In other words, Biden is saying we'll put sanctions in if he invades. But yourself, Lindsey Graham, I just had a note today from former Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, who was ambassador to NATO. Why don't we slap the sanctions on Nord Stream, slap the sanctions on banks, slap the sanctions on oligarchs, and then see if Putin wants to negotiate that? Can't we move toward that?
Well, we absolutely can. That was a point the president of Ukraine made yesterday, that we should do the sanctions now before the invasion, not threaten them weekly after the invasion, which is what Biden is doing. And it's important for folks to understand the reason why a Russian invasion of Ukraine is imminent is because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is what caused this. Biden was sworn into office on January 20th of 2021. On January 24th, 4 days later, Putin began building the Nord Stream 2 pipeline again. And then this summer, Biden waived the sanctions and basically gave billions of dollars to Putin. And it is what is setting up Putin to invade Ukraine. The hundreds of thousands of troops on the border of Ukraine are because Biden surrendered to Russia, surrendered to Putin. And I am right now battling with Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden, trying to force a vote in the U.S. Senate to impose sanctions on Nord Stream 2, to do it on the front end to stop the invasion, rather than to weekly promise something on the back end after Ukraine has fallen to Russian tanks.